From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Barris here on a Monday. I hope you had a good weekend, and it's good to be back in the saddle here. I apologize for being off a couple days last week. My voice was completely gone throughout the weekend. Finally back now because there was no way I was going to miss today's show.
Yes.
So I'm here, and the allergies are fading a bit. That's what happens when you get a cortisone shot.
Right.
Yeah, it brings the swelling down. Anyway, this morning, as you see on the screen, we're going to be talking about elder law, our regular segment here, and we're going to open up the phone lines for you, and I invite you to join in the conversation. We'll tell you what you can call about. As always, we set the table with my friend, elder law attorney extraordinaire, Tim Takis.
Good
It's
morning.
Nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you again. I'm
good to
sorry
have you.
that your voice is like...
You know, everyone has been very nice saying, I'm sorry about the voice. Let me tell you, first of all,
Right.
my wife was praising the heavens because it was peace and quiet in the house this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, when I lose my voice, it's always a good thing for her.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt at all. It's just allergies. Do you get allergies?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Last 4 years, haven't had any reaction, maybe because of my honey. This year, out of the blue, I don't know what's different, but it blasted me.
Oh, so you have not been taking your honey? Or
I
what?
have been taking it. Something changed. I mean, 4 years, no allergic reaction to the pollen, and this fall it hit me.
It really.
Who knows? Your body changes.
Yeah, it does.
It's the way it is.
I know when I was a kid, I never had allergies, and then...
Now you do.
You
take shots, or do you...
No, but I do...
Allegra?
Yeah, I do...
Flonase.
All that, and then, and I have asthma, so I have to do that as well.
Especially for people like that. It's been a rough fall for that, and now we go right from that to the flu season.
Right. And now here you are, and you can't, you haven't talked for 2 days, and it's like, oh, what? It's just going to be an outburst today.
I think it's pretty clear you're going to have to carry the show, as you usually
do. I'll do my best.
All right, the number is 737-7587. But for our viewers, again, what kind of issues have you been dealing with lately at the office?
Well, we do estate planning. We do, we do trust. We do asset protection part, and of course, right now is, and I'm sure that that Channel 5 you're going to have some programs about, it's Medicare open enrollment season again. Right.
We'll probably do something on that.
Absolutely.
Talk about why that's important, and you're dealing with that.
Right. We have a lot of our clients because, all right, here you are, the Medicare open enrollment, October 7 to December, mid-December, something like that. And basically what that means is that if you are on Medicare and which means that if you're 65 and older, chances are you're probably going to be on Medicare.
Right.
That you have an opportunity to review what your Medicare plan is. Do you want to stay on traditional Medicare with a Medicare supplement? Do you want to move to a Medicare, what's called a Medicare Advantage plan? As many of our viewers know, that we have several Medicare Advantage plans where basically your Medicare is, a Medicare managed care plan.
Okay, and is that different than a supplement?
It is different from a supplement, and so when we look at a Medicare managed care plan, and I'll just talk about a Medicare Advantage plan, that you have a network of like healthcare providers, hospitals, physicians, and whatever, who are in that plan.
Right.
And so what you do is you enroll in that plan, and you pay basically a premium. And you don't have a supplement, and it's a lot of people who are on Medicare find it's really good because if you're healthy, then it saves you money. You don't pay as much for Medicare plus the supplement. We always encourage our clients to look at look at their Medicare every year, and of course, if they're clients of ours, needless to say, we have a Medicare specialist on staff, and so we help them, guide them through that process.
Do circumstances change where they decide they've been on one and they want to change it?
Well, what's interesting about that is, I think it's interesting because it's what I do for a living, but there was just a study that came out last week that found that people who are, sort of confirmed what people already knew is that if you were a healthy senior, you were often a Medicare Advantage plan, but as you got sick, you moved out of the Medicare Advantage plan into traditional Medicare.
Okay.
And I think the reason for that is there's a perception that if you are in a Medicare Advantage plan, that if you were sicker, they would try to get you out of the plan. Okay, in other words, if you're the perception is if you're in a Medicare Advantage plan, they want healthy seniors, not sick seniors. Right. Okay, whether that's a fair perception or you know the you know, an accurate perception, I don't know. Okay. Okay. All just right. For people who are watching, but it's one of those things that you want to be mindful of. That's the perception that's out there. That's a perception out there, you know, that, you know, and Medicare is concerned about that because they don't want this. They don't want the healthy people in Medicare plans, Advantage plans, and then the sick people go back into traditional Medicare because that costs all of us.
Okay, but that is why some people do.
That's why some people do that,
one way or the other.
And
well, also, can't their circumstances change sometimes?
Well, also their formulary may change, and the formulary basically means is that maybe they get sick, their drug changes, you know, and they need to relook at their Medicare Part D plan, say, for instance.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of times people do because something else comes up. But more often than not, when this open enrollment comes along, for most of the folks maybe watching today that have this situation, they'll probably stay in the same situation.
Right, and I know that this was a big thing in the over the last few years. You know, as people will say, well, do I need to change my plan or whatever it is the the short answer to that question is that if you believe that you're happy with your plan, you know, then you do not need to change. You don't have to do anything. You know, you can like go take a cruise or a trip around the world or whatever until January 1, and you'll come back and you should be just fine.
Just fine. You know what I always wonder about that, and I can see myself being in this situation, whereas I think I'm happy with the plan. Right. But my ignorance is bliss, in that maybe there's something better out there that, even though I'm satisfied, would be even better, but I don't know about it. Yeah. So would you say that's where you can help people out?
Sure, we do.
Let's look at what you have. You may be satisfied, but there may be something even better, cheaper or more efficient.
Exactly. And now, also, I want to encourage viewers who are have the same sort of thing, a little bit of a, let's call it open enrollment anxiety, or something like that. Okay.
Sure.
I mean, I've just coined a term, which
diagnose it.
Yeah, Medicare open enrollment anxiety. But it's like, okay, so what should I do? It's like, well, you can call 1-800-Medicare. You know, someday what we'll do is that when you really lose your voice or something, I'm going to go, I really want somebody to talk to now because Nick can't talk anymore, so we'll just dial 1-800-Medicare and see what happens. I don't know, but I mean the point is that call 1-800-Medicare and they can they'll ask you questions about same sort of situation is what has your circumstances changed? Have you moved? Have you changed providers, or do you want to change providers? Is your physician retiring, or something like that, where you feel like, or whatever? So should you get out of the current plan and go in to do something else? Those are the kind of things that 1-800-Medicare will help you with. And what's great about it is, Nick, is that it's information. You can talk to them, and you don't have to do anything.
Right. But you can at least know what's out there, and then you make a decision.
You make a decision based upon, and then you can get the information, write it down, talk to family and friends, or or people that do some more research, and then decide what's best for you. And you've got several weeks to make that decision.
Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned it. Okay, so open enrollment's underway, and something to take a look at. Just throw out a few other issues. Just I want to be clear, since you're on every several weeks, but for the viewers, again, what elder law focuses on, and some of the other matters like you talked about, wills, power of attorney, estates.
We do trust, and that's often just really usual, typical, I won't call it typical, but that's generally estate planning. But estate planning often focuses on dead people, dead clients, what happens to their money and property when they die. Elder law is really primarily focused on the living client, the older person. How are they going to get the care that they need? Are they looking at moving out of the house because they can't stay there anymore because of chronic illness or disease or Alzheimer's or something? What if there's a spouse? How does that person, how is long-term care and health care going to be paid for? Right. What public benefits are out there to do that? Medicaid, TennCare, veterans benefits, Department of Defense, all that sort of stuff.
But it's overwhelming. And what you're talking about here, again, is he's not an investment expert. It's overwhelming. And I don't mind sharing, this is something he's actually helped me with my folks as we look at this and the process of determining whether or not they stay at home or move out. And then the whole issue of power of attorney, which I've got to get the ball ball rolling on that to get that. And I don't know if those are, it's not just for seniors to call and ask questions. You deal a lot of times with the children.
A lot of times it's the children come in, like in your situation, if I may say, is that your parents live in Oregon, so your parents can't be my clients.
No.
But how often do children call us or whatever and say, look, my parents live in out of state, what am I supposed to do? And I might say, okay, I have colleagues in that state, or here's some resources that you can look at. Like in your case, for instance, I know we talked about a geriatric care manager or somebody that, because your parents maybe are doing okay, perhaps, or semi-okay, but it's nice to have another, like say, boots on the ground there that can visit them regularly, and the idea is that your parents want to stay at home, they want to stay independent, and what's the best way to do that?
But that's where the psychology of it comes into play, because everything makes sense to me.
Right.
But they don't want that.
That's right.
They don't want to move. They don't like the idea of having someone come in who maybe will give them, and that's, I know you deal with that also, and it's not.
It is a psychology, And
it's not easy to do it when you're 2,000 miles away as well.
Exactly.
So everyone's situation is different. If you're lucky enough to live close to your loved ones, it gives you a little bit of a better hand.
You can be lucky.
Like you said, feet on the ground, boots on the ground.
Yes.
Which my boots are way over here. My folks are in Oregon. Listen, we got to take a break on that note. We're going to get into much more. The number's open on the screen, 737-7587. Questions or comments, thinking about your will, power of attorney. My favorite is all for Ma.
All for Ma. Yeah, we'll talk about that when you...
All for Ma. Does a will like that actually work? All right, we'll be back.
Be careful what you write on there.
Exactly. Yeah. with your calls and more with our guest Tim Takis right after this. Stay with us. All